Hello, hello, it's Annette Green. I'm back again. If you are joining me for the first time, welcome. And if you are back again, like me, welcome back. This is my weekly memory keeping planner from 2023. I have two of them actually. And if you're new, what I did last year was I documented every week of 2023 in a single page in my planner. And I've used a lot of products from Elizabeth Craft Designs. Some are my own designs, some are from other designers within the company. All kinds of techniques and cool things happening on a lot of my pages. So if you wanted to go back and check out some of those videos, I have a full playlist, my week by week of 2023 playlist. So you can check that out if you like. Now, this year, I'm doing it a little bit differently. So you can see here I have a new planner for 2024. This is the leather. Oh, beautiful. It's green, this one. But there are leather planners now with Elizabeth Craft Designs. And of course, I'll link everything below. The green one is not available. This was a special one that said Banff Creative Retreat along here. And I covered it with some fabric and put the 2024 on the front just to kind of camouflage that because I really wanted to use this green planner. But what I'm doing this year is, back at the beginning of the year, I had a special dashboard class and it's still available. It's still in my Etsy shop and I use graphic 45 paper. All the details I will link below, but basically the class is to build your dashboard pages, which is the first page of every month. So there's January, and then my weeks of January would follow, and then there's February, and of course today is the beginning week of February, so we don't have anything between here yet, but here's all those beautiful pages that are part of that class. So if you didn't do it yet, you may want to go check that out. Okay, so what we are doing, instead of me doing a video every week on a planner page like I did last year, I am doing my planner pages every week, but I'm sharing them in a Facebook group. I'm not doing, watch me assemble kind of videos until the end of the month, which is where you are now. And I will assemble one page today. But I have a Facebook group called Weekly Memory Keeping with Annette, and everybody that's in there is doing their best to keep up week by week and share their pages and get inspired by one another. And so far, this is what I have for weeks 1 and 2, 3, and 4. And today we're going to work on 5, which is sort of a split between January ending and February beginning. Go back really quick to talk about this because I did promise that if I used any kind of techniques or anything I wanted to share, I would do that before I started this video. So, the very first week was very simple with stamping and cut aparts and die cuts and such. Nothing super complicated or highly technical there at all. But week 2, and I am alternating, so every other week I am going to use a page protector. These are the pocket photo pages from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and so technically it will be the next 2 weeks, right? So week 2 and 3, of course, are in the pocket, and then I will have a page that doesn't have a pocket, and so forth. So my next page after that, intro to February, will be a pocket page. There's different configurations in those pocket pages. You'll see when you go to the link if you want to go check it out. Week 2, we have just 2 large 4x4 sized pockets, so that's super easy. I just did some simple layering of elements and did my journaling below and my photo above. A little bit of extra stuff going on here. But when it got to 3, I needed a little bit more room for journaling, so I just added my photo but left it to be a pocket on this particular page so that I could add a little journaling card to slide in behind it. It's easily accessible through the top opening of the page protector, and that way I can write all kinds of stuff, and that's perfect for if you want your journaling to be fairly private. Over on page 4, or week 4 I should say, I did a lot of playing around with the jelly plate, and there is a video on this. And I should mention that I am doing weekly videos, but each week this year is not just a planner page. I'm picking different techniques and crafting projects to make and share with you. And so last time was the jelly plate, and I played around with a bunch of different prints, and I had some extras, so I used it as the background in this particular instance right here, especially in the word photo as well. That's all from jelly plate extras. And then of course you see I don't have any room here for journaling, so I did make a little pocket, side loading pocket, by adhering my page to a black cardstock backing. And that way I have room here. I did a little half circle punch, and now I have this cute little journaling tag that I can slide in and out. I like to do that just because I'd like to see more room for photos, and journaling is important, but it can be hidden. It doesn't have to be right out there. So that brings us to today, week 5. And so I've got this black back to the page, and that's where I'm going to work. I do have a plan. I have a whole bunch of stuff laying around here. So let's get right to it. I am using this paper from Graphic 45 is Life is Abundant. And so I'm using that a lot. I'm not going to say I'm using it exclusively from here on forward, but I am trying to make my spreads match a little bit more than I did last year. So you can see that kind of matches pretty well. This kind of veered off a little bit just because of the jelly press, but here I'm getting back to having it sort of match. So I'm going to get my page out of here and start working it out. Show you what I was thinking about. I want to put this particular piece of paper, and this is also Graphic 45, but this is from the Patterns and Solids. So I'm going to use this one, this blue with the moons and the suns and stuff. And I'm thinking that I'll just kind of have it over here so I have 1/8 of an inch of black showing all the way around, and then just leave this over here on this side for, you know, extra. Okay, and then I pulled out some new dies that I had about 4 photos, 3 or 4. I chose this new die. Can you see the little stitchy things in between there? That is a brand new Sidekick size. Now this is a full-size planner, and these are the Sidekick size planner dies. Now, can they work together? Yes, absolutely. But if it's a page die, no. The elements in certain dies definitely can be used back and forth. So I have chosen this big piece here, and that's the one with all those perforations. You could tear these apart very easily and make little postage stamp edge little photo mats. But I'm going to keep it together, and then I cut a piece of this bright green, also from that Patterns and Solids collection, and I cut it just a little bit larger, and I'm going to mount these together on my page. We're going to get to it eventually, but there are some little embellishment pieces on that same die, and that's like this one here that I'm about to use as an embellishment later when I get all my photos on. It's sort of like a double little arrow thing here. So I have used the 2 different dies to cut the 2 different parts, and it's actually a total of 3 because that's going to set in there and that's going to set in there, but I am going to stamp this one on the top. So that's how that will look. I've got some stars over here I want to talk about, and these little Viewmaster dies. These are from a different set. Big one. In fact, this is a kit. This is a special kit. So it is a little more costly because it comes with a stamp set and this huge die. Look at this die. This is the Weekend Fun kit from Esther. It has a full page die, all these dies here, all these fun pieces here. You can see like a memory decks kind of situation on these cutouts. Super fun. And there's those Viewmasters. And then, like I said, the die or the stamp coordinates with it. So there's a lot of cool things on there. And I am going to use some of those today. For dies, I am going to use the number 5 for my week. And that is the Stitched Letters and Numbers die. Again, I'll link everything below. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I got my photos, and I'm thinking about putting my little arrow situation up here somewhere. Okay, I'm not going to glue anything down yet. I'm just getting a little placement idea. Things that we did this week, some of my favorite little things, of course, going on a bike ride with Paul, and we saw these great looking ducks in the water at the park when we got there. I did the Facebook Live on Friday for Elizabeth Craft Designs, and then we bought an espresso machine, and there's the pods, and they came in a pretty box like that with the coffee maker, and I just thought that was visually really kind of nice, so I'm going to include that. And then I've got my little Viewmaster things, so I die cut them in black, and then I'm cutting circles from scraps of the 8x8 paper in the Life is Abundant. And so I cut a circle like, I think it was 1 3/4 to go behind here. And I'm thinking that I might want to put that maybe up there. And it has no meaning, no purpose. It's just an embellishment. And so here is the bigger size one. You can see the difference, right? This one's quite a bit bigger. So after I die cut it, I save this circle, and I'm just going to trace it onto that same yellow paper and put it behind that again. I don't know if you can see them laying here, but I got these little stars, a cluster of different stars, and that's also from the Weekend Fun kit. And I'm gonna kind of scatter them around too. It's that same yellowy golden paper. And then of course I've got my number 5 I've cut out of blue. I think I want to put that right there. Not positive yet. I do have some other things from that die set as well, and that's these cute little tabs. They're like paper clips, but they're square. They're really cool. And then in the stamp set are the days of the week. So I grabbed Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, because that's kind of these days of my week. And I think I'm going to stamp them right onto here and then clip these onto the photos. That's the plan. And then I said I wanted to stamp something on that arrow. This says this week in the stamp, also from the same stamp set with the kit. And finally, one more item that I pulled, and I might pull some more. I don't know yet. This is a little, what do they call these? This is the die cut tags and frames from Graphic 45 in the Life is Abundant set. You got all these great little instant embellishment pieces. They're all cut out and ready to go, and it's kind of cardstock thick. So I was planning on working that into the page somewhere. So there's my plan. That's my loose plan for now. Now I just need to kind of get it together. I did my smaller ViewMaster circle behind it. I had a circle punch that was at the ready, but I don't have a circle punch this big. Yes, you could do it on a Cricut machine, but there's really no need, you know. I'm just going to cut this a little bit inside the pencil line, just a touch, and check it and see. But I think it's going to work out just fine. Yep, looks good. I would recommend doing this on a stamp platform because it's a brand new stamp and you just don't know, and sometimes it's better, but you know, I just went for it and it worked out fine. It looks good. Okay, that's ready. I'll let that kind of dry a bit. I did want to mention that when I use these die cut assortments, this is like a glossy coated cardstock, so I use like a little sanding block around the edges before I ink them, because the ink will just rub right off. It doesn't, I mean, unless you use StazOn or something like that. But I just give it a quick little sanding, brush off the sanding dust, and then I ink it with just regular distress ink. And right now I'm kind of fond of the new Scorched Timber by Ranger. Okay, so we'll get these glued together and then we'll stamp these other guys, but we need to know what direction those are going to go. So I'm going to wait on those and get this stuff assembled first. Okay, I have my, let's zoom out a little bit. I've got my paper on my page. I've got this glued together, but I'm not going to put this down here yet because we want some elements going behind a little bit in our little clips and things. But I will get my photos on here, and I'm just going to use, normally I would use tape runner, but I'm going to use my precision glue press just because these pieces are small and the glue thing is handy right there. I'll link to that. I hope it's still available. I know it went on back order for quite a while. It's by My Sweet Petunia, which is the same company that makes the Misty stamp press, and it is super handy. I do love it. I do have my bottle filled with the art glitter glue rather than the Nuvo glue that comes with it. It's just what I prefer. I like it. Okay, have I been in screen at all this whole time? Let's see. Here we go. All right, so we have this one and then this one. We'll get those on real quick. So I'm trying to remember, week 1 of 2024, we created a craft organizer. I'll pop a picture up as I'm talking. And I love it. It's sitting right over here. I got all my stuff in it. It's great. I do have a tutorial for that one in my Etsy shop. And actually, it's the SVG file. The tutorial is part of it. Okay, photos are down. Can I put this yet? I think I'll wait because I want to put this, and I'm going to wait on that. So now we have to decide what's going to happen as far as our little clips and the days. So, and I think I can get these down. Well, let's get an idea of where everything's going to go first. So I think I want these floating so we can see the edge inside the blue, not going out past into the black, because then it would be black on black and you wouldn't see it that well. So I think I'm going to stamp right on this part here. So I'm going to go like that when I stamp it. And this is not a lot happening in this particular area, so that's good. I can stamp on that and tuck that one over there. And then we don't need to see every single one of these pods, so I can stamp on that one and put it there. So I'm liking that. I think that's good. Okay, so I've got what? Wednesday and Friday and Saturday. So let me stamp those. Black ink, but it's a little juicy, so I'm going to set those over there to dry a bit, and I think I am going to ink the edges, but I'll just let them sit for a second. I'm going to get these guys down. Let's see, so week 1 was the organizer. Week 2, can't remember. Actually, I cheated and I pulled up my YouTube over here on my iPad. Week 2 was a Valentine's shaker card. Really fun. So I'll pop a picture of that up while I'm talking. So I got that one glued down, and this one. Week 3, I did some art on the wall back behind me here, put it into a frame that's been sitting empty for a long time here in my studio. That was very fun because I'm not a painter or an artist in that regard, but it was fun, and I'm super pleased with how it turned out. And then last week, like I said, was the jelly plate. Having fun with the gel press and the little frame tool that keeps it in place. Had a great time with that. Okay, so I'm using a little bit of that scorched timber to ink that, and I think I can handle these now. I'm just gonna, ooh, it is dark. You have to be careful. It's not a light ink at all. But because I have black around on my base of my page, I think this is going to be just fine. So I'm just barely touching it. And a brand new ink pad, super juicy, so you do have to be careful. When I first dipped it in there to do something, I was like, whoa, 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 okay. All right, so I'm going to ink these up. I'll be back with them on the page. Show you really quick. Put a little bit of glue on the top and a little tiny bit on the back there, and I'm just going to slide this where I want it. You don't want to come all the way out with the glue. I did come a little bit too far out here. Press this over here. That looks good. And then I'll do the same for Friday and Saturday. Since nothing else is going behind, it is okay now to get this on the page. Just kind of centering it somewhat. Okay. Cool. Oh, I did have this. Whoopsie. Yeah, that's okay. We'll just work it in right there. This says every day is the best day of the year. Couldn't be more true in my opinion. So I'm just gonna pop that on. Do we want to go all the way over? Do we want to come down a little bit? Let's come down a little bit. Right below that photo above and over into our duck a little bit. Cute. Okay, and then 5 will go there. And this week, I think, is going to come right over the top of all of that. So there's kind of a lot of layers on this one. Just want to get enough adhesive to get those layers so they're not sticking out funny. Let's see, cover up some of that black. Seeing a little bit of that green, that's good. Let's check it. A little crooked. Okay, that's good. That kind of bothers me right there. I might color that in black. Nobody has to know but you and me. It's just that one little sliver of yellow is kind of throwing off my eye, so I just used a black marker. And we'll get our 5. Let's see, I want it to overlap a little because I feel like it'll be funny to touch it. Yeah, no? Doesn't bother me. A little bit of space of black there. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there's too much space below it otherwise. Okay, now I've got my little stars and I think that's how I'm going to finish. So if I were going to do this, I would just kind of, I want to turn them that way. I like that. May not use all of them. We'll see. It's always nice to have these little interruptions of things, embellishments, at hard corners. If you notice any of the pages I've done in the past, you might notice that little trend where I tend to soften up hard corners with elements. And I hope that makes sense to you. You know, I don't know how else to explain it other than to me it softens things up a bit, all those hard edges. So I think I'll put that one there. Got a couple of more, maybe that one will go there. And now we just have to decide this last little guy. We could come out here in the black again. We could come way over here, but that's right across from that guy. Maybe we needed one here. I know I just said that thing about softening the corner, but maybe we'll move this one over here. Take your eye away from the corner a little bit. So, okay, maybe. We'll see. Obviously, I need a little moment to think it through before I glue it down. But I think it's looking good. And I realized I had no place for journaling, but you know what? It wasn't a ton of stuff to say, so I wrote right up here, outdoors, Facebook Live, and Nespresso. So that's that. The page is done. I did determine that I needed a little something on these tabs here, so I put the stars there instead, just because there was, you know, there was white space. It needed it. And I moved the bigger star up there to oppose this one down here. And there was a big hole here, so I put one there. Okay, so I mean, my page is done. That was easy. That was fun. It was quick. And now we're moving into February, and this will be week 6. So again, I will be back again at the end of February with a planner page, but I will be back every week with a new project of some sort. And I'm really into flower making right now, shaping flowers, making pretty things with flowers. So that's probably what's going to be next. We'll see. All right, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it today, and I will see you next time.